The Collingwood, they're still in the premiership window, right? But how much longer does that window stay open? Collingwood didn't blow it up, but they also didn't build anything this off-season. It was a very quiet one, and they lost a staple, dependable forward. The question remains though, did the Pies get better? G'day legends, PommyInOz here. I am the Pom. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're enjoying our breakdown of the off-season content. This will continue into the AFL season, so your one-stop shop for AFL news. So today we're talking about the Magpies, the perennial contenders. They walked into this off-season with stability at the forefront, a flag a few years ago, and one of the more resilient and divisive cultures in footy. But this time there was no fireworks, no blockbuster trades, no splashy signings, no headline moves, just a single acquisition, Jack Buller, and a departure of a staple forward in the likes of Brody Mihocek. It's the first time for a long time we've seen them hold steady, and that's what makes this conversation ever so interesting. So let's start with the outs. Brody Mihocek, he's gone to Melbourne, a man that averaged around 40 goals a year. He's led the Collingwood forward line for what feels like an eternity. It's not a small haul, but it has to be said, he has been on the wane. He is the sort of player that never grabs headlines, but he is a system-first footballer, and this is important to how Fly sets up his team. Coming in, though, is Jack Buller. Sydney player, big-bodied, competitive, very good in the air, still developing. He's got to find the tempo of AFL footy. It's definitely a nod for the future. It doesn't fix it straight away, but long-term, you can see the payoff. He will thrive in a Collingwood system. They did have a go at Jai Simkim. They floated interest in midfield reinforcements, but most of their negotiations were way too high for the price to play. This says a lot about where their head's at. They're backing in what they've got and what they've already built. Right now, Collingwood's list spot is in an interesting position. 31 senior players, 6 rookies, 1 Cat B. That's light, especially, and only real decisions left on this list are Lockie Sullivan and Noah Howes, who they picked up in the mid-season draft. There's space to manoeuvre. The cap and the structure, though, you would imagine would be quite tight. This is still a list built on experience and cohesion. Pendlebury, Sidebottom, Chris, DeGoey. It's the next wave, though, that is forming underneath that I'm intrigued about. Harry Di Matteo, Allen, Hayes. They're starting to see some opportunity open up, and that's deliberate. Craig McRae's philosophy has always been giving youth minutes within success, not waiting for a full-blown rebuild. Here's where things look thin. No first round pick. They went hard last year and chased Dan Houston. And while he's been a big signing, he probably hasn't blown the doors off. It means the Pies don't join until pick 39, which should slide a little bit later after father-son and academy bids. That said, the recruiters obviously have a clear need. Midfield, some point of difference. 2 names that jump off the page. Jack Dalton, Sandringham running machine and pace merchant, and Fred Rodriguez, the Western Australian dual-sided footballer. Dalton is that ball magnet, endurance, cleaning congestion, loves the overlap run. Rodriguez, though, brings that grunt, that leadership, the genuine two-way player who would fit Collingwood's pressure identity almost to a T. They've also got a young ruckman in the midst, Zach McCarthy, who is, in my opinion, the best ruckman in this draft. I even have him higher than CDT as a ruckman. They're not having to start again, but they have got some really good options here. And this is a draft that I wouldn't mind having picks in the 30s. From a system point of view, what is the outlook? Collingwood's game plan still stacks up. Top 4 in pressure acts, inside 50 tackles, points from turnover, a brand that travels deep in September. What they've lost, though, is that dependable structure at times. They did have injuries into that forward half of the ground. They definitely need to be more consistent and definitely have their players right at the right times. That forward line, though, of McStay, Hill, Elliott, that is still exciting. They have got some creativity in their midfield, halfback and forward rotations. This is why this off-season does feel like a holding pattern. It's not a failure, but it's a pause. It's a bet that their cohesion, their culture and their adaptability will outweigh any list deficiencies. So they held their ground. They didn't advance, but more importantly, they didn't go backwards. Collingwood are still good enough to win it all in 2026. The lack of genuine improvement, yes, might leave them vulnerable. Lack of ins, but they've held faith in what works, which is admirable. But faith doesn't stop the window from closing. They need to nail this draft, develop that next core, continue feeding them young players games, and find goals from their next faces to stay in the mix. This isn't panic time, but it maybe is the first chink in the armour. So, Magpie fans, how do you see this? Was this smart stability or a missed opportunity? Drop your thoughts below. It's been quite open that McRae is going to target free agency, and there is some big name free agencies. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit a like, give it a share to your friends. We've got a whole load of these coming through. We're going to take you all the way through to the off-season and ramping up the draft content in the next couple of weeks. See you soon. Pomm out. Spent all my life holding all of